Back at it.
We back at it, y'all. Episode 4, the Real Facts Podcast.
Real
You know what I mean?
facts.
I know we missing P, we missing YC today, you know what I mean? But B, the nation gonna hold it down for y'all today.
P. Picasso.
You know what I mean? 100.
100.
We today, y'all, we gonna talk about generational wealth. Baby.
Right.
What you think about that, bro? Like generational wealth. I mean, in a sense of not just the basics of generational wealth. A lot of things that we notice, and especially in the black community, of how we're not paying attention to what's actually going on
Right.
right now in a lot of these hoods, a lot of gentrification
Right.
and whatnot, and how they're actually taking generational wealth away from us, man. What you think about that, bro?
Yeah. I think it's a shame.
Hmm.
And they don't know that the gloves, the glasses, we, we can see.
Exactly.
We see what y'all doing. We see what y'all doing. We paying attention.
Right.
But we ain't gonna let y'all sidetrack it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna make sure our family's great. And y'all gonna help us do it. Because we appreciate y'all. And y'all definitely appreciate us. Real rap. Real facts.
Real facts, real facts. And so, so let me ask you, right? Um, One thing I want to address is that I'm seeing a lot of these developers come into the neighborhoods, right?
Right?
And they are lowballing the hell out of these people who own grandma's house,
Right.
mom's house, great grandma's house, right?
Taking
And
advantage.
taking advantage of them. They sell it for way undervalued, and then they take the property and fix the property up or knock it down,
Right?
build 2 or 3 properties,
I've seen
and
a lot of them.
sell each of those properties for $500,000 apiece.
Right.
Same house that grandma and grandpa paid 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 grand for.
Right?
They selling the same properties on the same land, 500,000 apiece. Unbelievable, man.
Forgetting about where they came from.
Right, bro?
Whereas though you keep what you got and go grab more.
Go grab this. You see what I'm saying, bro? See why we always here?
Yeah.
I'm telling this.
Real rap.
I'm telling this to every single person that's in the hood right now. If you own a home in the hood, do
Right.
not sell it.
Right.
I'm not saying you can't move out the hood. Move, rent that property, or hold on to it, let it sit, make sure it's maintained, make sure the taxes are paid up,
Right.
but definitely don't sell it.
Nope. Make it work for you.
I was reading something the other day, and it said that in the next 10 years, a majority of the properties in Philadelphia will be over 50% cost of what it is right now. So the average price right now in Philly is 200,000,
Right.
right?
Right.
So they're saying that every house will be at least 100,000 more than what it is now.
Wow.
Exactly. So the average home price will be 300,000, and they're saying every house. I mean that's gonna be the average house.
Right.
We talking in the hood also. Well, even in places that they're not gentrifying, average home price $300,000.
And they lowball.
And they lowball the people to get them out of there. You know, they'll give you 100 grand cash in your hand to get you out there, but they
Yep.
already know the property is worth 2 and 300, and all. But they could get five for it. I'm just giving you a low ball median of three
Right.
hundred thousand. They could get five for it all day, cause
True.
you got these New Yorkers moving in from, and they coming in and they say, man, for 500,000, I can get all this. I'm good.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. It's beneficial.
right?
You know what I
But
mean?
what it's doing, look what it's doing to our neighborhoods.
Yeah. It's messing us up. And the reason why it's messing us up because it was too loud.
There you go. Right,
Meaning that, be respectful out there
right, right.
because we all got families and everybody want to live comfortable. So why not live comfortable in the home you grew up in, but then expand?
There you go. But a lot of people patience, bro. See, they don't have that patience. They think, oh man, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna buy this, cream about it, instead of saying, hey, let me take my time and let me get this right.
Right.
You know what I mean? because so many things you can do with a home that you own outright.
That's right.
That you own, and all you got to do is pay the taxes on it. It's so much that you can do versus taking going to go get a mortgage and you're not and without maintaining the property that you already got. You
Right.
know, that's unbelievable. And let's call it for what it is, bro. And a lot of black people live way beyond our,
Yes.
you know,
That's a true fact.
way beyond our
I
means.
see that a lot, and it ain't worth it.
Nope, ain't worth it, bro. Like we just, and we don't take the time, like, me and you. It took us a minute to build back up
Yeah.
and then get on our feet. People see us now and they see, oh, they rolling. Nah, like, you know what I mean? They
We
don't
grinding
understand.
just like y'all.
Right, but the hard work it took just to get back here,
Yeah.
it ain't no, you know what I mean? Ain't no joke. We did our time on
Yes.
the low. You know what I mean? We did
Yes.
our time
Yes,
then.
sir.
But if people see that, they think, oh, you're supposed to have it tomorrow. Don't work like that.
No.
Don't work like that.
Gotta
Especially,
crawl for you up, baby.
that's right. And that's the goal of building generational wealth.
Then run.
You run, crawl, walk, run.
Run.
That's right.
And don't look back.
Yeah, but it's the problem now. They don't want to crawl.
Nope.
They think you're supposed to, oh, all right, somebody came off me 100 grand, I'll take that. And it's like you're looking like, dog, you could have got 500. You
Yep.
just put a little bit of work in, throw in a new kitchen, throw in 2 new bathrooms, could have got 500 for that house.
They gotta learn to put working, just like you said.
You know,
Learn to craft generational wealth. That's the
100.
only way you're gonna be able to do it.
Right? And I think that a lot of times, selfishness, man, of a lot of people, because it ain't just black people, it's other, other races also too, a
Yeah.
lot of selfishness with them. Because if you sell this house and you look back and you say, damn, like you're not thinking about the generations after you, especially if you sell it and you don't take that money and reinvest.
Right.
Now, if you sell and you take that money and you reinvest that money, right? And you say you sell grandma's house, but you go buy 4 properties.
Right.
That's how you do it.
Yes. That's
That's how you do it.
generational wealth. Now
Exactly.
you're expanding.
Right?
You don't want to go backwards. You want to move forward.
There you go.
Once you get 4, you get 8, and so forth. But you gotta put forth effort. You gotta crawl. You gotta walk. You gotta run. It's a lot of brothers out here doing it, and I know it's a lot of brothers that's not getting it.
Mm.
Crawl.
Crawl.
We doing it.
That's right. You don't crawl, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Don't get fatigued.
And also
You're
too,
right.
we learned that lesson today about how you get it fast and go fast, right? You can get it quick and it be out the door. You be like, damn. You be like, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I got this, and then boom. You be like, how that happen? Because God looked down and God said, you ain't earned it.
Yeah, how about that?
You know,
You ain't taking time.
right? You ain't take the time, man.
You understood the lesson,
Right,
but you ain't take the time to switch it up.
right.
Then it was time to switch it up. We get knocked off, or we did.
Oh,
Then there's no generational wealth.
so,
Because now the wealth got to go through your funeral
right.
or go on your books.
100.
That's all my man B. Speak the truth.
Trying to school, man.
Invest.
Mhm.
You got a crib. It may not be those big mansions and all that, but if you have a house, that's your family. Don't sell that.
Mhm.
Fix it up.
Well,
And while you fixing it up, stack. Let it work for you.
hmm
Like they say, first you bag up, then you get money.
out there, they don't know nothing about that.
That's real facts. Real facts, they get it. First you bag up, then you
Right,
get money.
right,
What movie was that from? Put it in the comments.
right. Put it in the comments if you know, you know. Right,
No, you know. First you bag up, then you get money.
right. Um, another thing too, man. There ain't nothing wrong with having a job. I think that the narrative, in the black neighborhoods is that oh I got a job, and I'm like we ain't supposed to have a job. Even me, I preach entrepreneurship,
Right.
but there was a time in which I did have a job, and I learned a lot
Right.
working that job.
Right.
Even though I'm a 100,
Facts,
I'm a
facts,
100
facts,
entrepreneur,
facts.
but sometimes in life you got to take that step back so you can leap forward. When
Facts.
I went to leave my job, I leaped because when I did take that step back, I understood what to do with that money,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And I didn't just, well, I would live like I didn't get paid for the week.
Mm.
I would live like my checks might have been 1,000, 1,200. I would only spend $100 out of that check,
That's how you do it, though.
And it helped me to build back up, helped me to reinvest in properties, stock market,
Yes, sir.
different things,
Right. Right. That's how you
And
do it.
but a lot of people, especially a lot of young guys, they'll think that, especially, they got some friends that's in the street, they're laughing at them. Oh, you work at McDonald's. Listen here, ain't nothing wrong with starting working at McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, or whatever. Was it five and below?
If they paying you a check and you ain't got no money,
Right.
you should be taking any job you can get,
Any job you can get, any job.
especially if you ain't from the streets, the internet.
Preach on,
It's a million grinds, but the ones that's betraying it, no, man, good job, man. You hurt yourself.
Yep, yep. And that job can help you build generational wealth. A lot of
Yes.
people don't know that there's a lot of people out here that started working at a fast food joint. Was a girl I went to school with, in high school,
Right.
and she's working at a fast food joint. And at that time, I was doing private transportation. I get a phone call to go down to McDonald's. Was on Broad Street, right? Before they left it down.
Well,
Go ahead, bro.
funny,
Uh-huh.
Calvin.
Calvin.
Remember all the commercials?
Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Well, Pete Calvin was saying, yeah, he worked for McDonald's,
Right.
but he in the commercial.
Exactly.
So he working for McDonald's,
Right.
and getting that other bread,
Exactly.
that franchise money.
Exactly.
I got to pay me every time you see my face on the screen.
Yep.
With the McDonald's sign on.
That's right. You're making that bread. So but the same thing. The girl I went to high school with,
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, that's right. Yep. So she started off at McDonald's high school, right? Right there in Shelton Avenue. People used to laugh at me. I ain't say no names, but
Right.
people used to be like, "Oh, she worked at McDonald's," right?
Yeah.
So one day they sent me to go pick up somebody, so make sure the car's clean. I'm picking up, some major people from McDonald's.
Right.
Guess who comes walking out with those people?
Oh,
Her.
word.
You know what she tells me?
What?
She's like, "Hey, Brent." I hug her. So corporate people looking at us like,
Right.
like, "Oh my God." She's like, "We know each other. We went to school together, right?"
Right.
You know what she tells me? This McDonald's is my McDonald's. And she says, "I own another one too."
Mm.
And she started off working right there in Shelton Avenue.
Generation.
Exactly, bro. So don't let nobody tell y'all, not work. Like if you read my post, I'm not saying don't work. If you gotta work, you gotta work your way up. You gotta crawl, walk, run. But in the end, yes, I do believe I preach entrepreneurship. I think you should take that money and flip that money and you turn yourself into an entrepreneur.
Right.
The way I look at jobs is this. Whenever somebody's working a job, and I know you here before I already know.
Right.
You do not go to a job and say, I'm gonna sit here for 40 years and put 40 in.
No.
You take that job money and you use that job money. You gotta treat the job as a hustle, right?
Right.
And you use that job money to help you build up.
Right.
Now you can invest your money. You want to invest your money into business. You can invest your money into real estate. You can invest your money in the stock market. You can invest your money to damn near anything that will help you progress.
Stock market.
Yeah, exactly. Very, right?
Tariffs.
Unbelievable. Right? And a lot of, but it's like these, if you gotta do something else, a lot of young guys, when I run across something and when I talk to them, when we have these conversations,
More than one hustle.
right? And you go, they don't understand that. They have nobody teaching them. So we here to teach y'all.
Yeah.
You gotta have more than one hustle. Make it a legal hustle too. Make it something legal so you don't have to worry about getting in trouble. But you cannot depend on a job. And that's a one job. Don't get me wrong, it'll get you through, but you gotta take that job money, you gotta make that money work for you. And go ahead to you could go out on your own. It might take you a few years, it might take you
Fact,
5 years, might take you 6 years. But trust me, when that time is up, you're gonna look back and you're gonna say, oh man, it was well worth it, for me to stack this money and you did it the right way instead of the wrong way.
fact.
Real fact.
And that generational wealth, you know, goes to the guys that's rapping, because a lot of the young guys look up to the rappers.
Right.
If y'all really look and pay attention, the rappers are paying taxes. Cool. So they getting paid for words, which is a good job, but it's messed up at the same time.
Right.
But they striving to generational wealth, my fault, for the family.
Right.
And
Right.
it's going at it a whole nother way.
That's right.
And guess what? It's legal. And like I said, it's a double-edged sword with that, but it's legal money.
Right.
So for the guys that's out here doing the 1-2, thinking that y'all ain't got to put the work in, and you see moms every day, pop every day get up, they own that crib. They want to see y'all stand up and get the crib, because they already know about generational wealth. Because we both know it started from our families.
That's right. Everything.
We follow that.
That's
We
right.
live by that.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
We live by that.
Right.
No matter what the ups and downs with family, and I'm being real. Our family, we all need to stick together. That generational wealth is real. That crib, your parents, or your mom, or your dad, or your grandma work for, and they keep telling you stuff about, listen, do this, don't worry about it, get a job, don't matter what you do. McDonald's, Wendy's, step your game up, Amazon, it don't matter. Get a job. Start making some type of money. Stack your bread. Eventually something is going to happen. But you also got to know how to update a resume, things of that nature, things that's going to help you to gain generational wealth in your family. Don't run out here like a chicken with his head cut off. Take your time, meet the right people, associate yourself around the right people that's serious. You go so far, and your family will love you. Right. Even though you might not be doing everything right, but you listen, and they see you putting that back to the pot, where it's go, what you doing? Oh, I'm just saving up, mom, helping you out. You know what I'm saying? Making sure crib taken care of, what you need, what can I do? And our family gonna be modest, because just like we are, oh, we got it. But they teaching us, so you should already get where it's coming from instead of actually just do it.
100. Real
facts.
Real facts. Real facts. Yep.
Don't ask, just do it. Because your family is already putting you in a position. Everybody was put in a position growing up.
Right. And you want to know another thing, though? A lot of us don't really pay attention to, right? Is how getting locked up fucks up generational wealth.
Facts.
Think about it, right?
Real facts.
Think about it. I'm gonna just be honest, tell y'all my situation when I got locked up. My pops had to put up a building to get me out.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Word.
And don't get me wrong, of course, I stayed on the right path, so put the building up, no main up to the building. You know what I mean? But with generational, if say, let's just say you got to put a building up, you know what I mean? You got to maybe you lose that building, or you had to put a lien against that building. You know what I mean? Because you need that money to put up for bail, or to put attorney costs.
Yeah.
Attorney costs. So it's like, a lot of people understand when you're out here doing your thing, and at the end of the day, if your family do got a couple dollars, you're messing that up with your family. Because an average lawyer is 10 G's to get started, and you got a major case.
Yep.
It's 10 G's. So that's 10 to start off with, That's not the whole case. As he starts investigating and he starts seeing how much money you need, you will end up at least, if you start off at 10, at least 25, 30.
Right.
So now you done spent, you know what I mean, you got 30 grand that could have went to your grandkids that you done spent on fighting the case. You know, and a lot of people don't think about that, you know, and you go down the wrong path, you're taking that money, you know, and you're wasting that money, you know, instead of you maintaining that money could have went into an IRA, you know, it could have went to a lot of different financial accounts. Exactly, bro. A CD, you know what I mean? A lot of different things it could have went into, you know, and it could have, you know,
Life insurance.
there you go, you know,
Yeah.
and blossom in your family.
Yeah.
You know, so it's so many different ways to build generational wealth, you know, but it's like, you know, it was growing up in, you know, in the black neighborhood, a lot of times they'll block you from actually building that, you know, man, let's,
We said, I'm gonna tell you what it is, bro. We got sidetracked.
right,
Like a lot of us got sidetracked.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
Now, if you think about it, and I hope the people that got sidetracked, like me too, bamboozled by how things is today, see the veil is off, and now you can see.
right.
Now it's time to put in action and make sure you do what you gotta do for you and yours. Because if y'all don't see where it's time to get generational wealth now, y'all just being
Selfish, man. Selfish.
cocky,
Mm-hmm.
arrogant, and don't get that at the end of the day,
Yep.
all you supposed to be doing until it's time to go
Mm-hmm.
is prepare your family to take care of themselves
There you go.
before you go.
That's
That's
all.
what our families was teaching us.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of your family like I'm taking care of you.
Ooh, grandma's word.
They walk to work,
Right. Yep.
bus route,
Yep.
ice storm,
Mm-hmm.
rainstorm.
All that.
Because a lot of our parents wasn't driving,
Right.
but they worked.
100.
And the ones that, like us, took that in and learned from it. So yes, we made mistakes, but our family still seen the good in us.
Mm.
How far we really want to go, how far we willing to take things
Right.
away from the negative light. Positivity.
Right.
It take you far.
Yeah.
It take you real far. Positivity.
That just jumping on that positivity, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of that, what they take from us, what they teach us that the black, trying to push the black man out of the household.
Right.
And, you know, can't tell us what it is. It fucks up generational wealth.
Yeah, it tears it down.
You know?
It tear that shit down
Yep.
because you, it's a two-parent home
Mm-hmm.
that everybody wants. Because if you listen to every single rapper,
Mm-hmm.
it mentions a daddy not being there
100%, bro.
while I had to make a move.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I mean? He left, he in prison, or he passed,
Go.
but he's not dead.
Is that crazy, bro?
That's crazy.
How many people, you know, they push that life to, and then they try to act like that's the way it's supposed to be in the black neighborhood,
The normal.
right? But if you pay attention, go out to the suburbs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you pay attention to their family dynamic, right?
Right. Right.
You know, in the black neighborhood, turn 18,
Mm-hmm.
get out. They tell you, get out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Go out to the suburbs
Yeah.
right now, right? I got friends that I know out in the county right now that's just moving out.
Right.
40 years old. They even stay home that whole time. You know how much they credit A1? Well, let me tell you, right? Let me tell you, right? Even though I wouldn't want to do that, you know what I mean? But, you know, I through my experiences of, you know, buying different houses and living, you know. But, you know, but they
Sure.
imagine, you know what I mean? Your credit 8 to 9, right? You got a bag stacked up.
Yeah.
You got at least 50 to 100 grand of your own money stacked up
Right.
to put down on whatever it is that you want to put down on.
Real
You
right.
know?
Real right.
And you know what I mean? And then most likely you don't have kids. If you do have kids, you know what I mean? They're already formed into that family atmosphere because they're in the house with grandpa, grandma, mom, and dad.
Yeah.
You know? So they already have that generational wealth
Yeah.
mentality. It's already stuck. You know, not only, like I said, most of the people in the suburbs, you know, my vanilla flavor brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? On that side, right?
Shout
You know
out to the
what
brothers and sisters.
you know what I mean? They, you
Much
know,
love and
they,
respect.
you know, they have that mentality, but also too, you look at the different cultures.
Right.
You know, you look at, you know what I mean? A lot of people that's Asian culture,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You got Indian culture, right? You look
Yeah.
at their culture and then you see how they all aren't all in the same household. You know, even the Mexican
Right.
slash Spanish culture, right? A lot of them grow up in the same household,
True story.
and they keep those kids home. Even when they go to school, graduate, they come back home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. They always got a place to
Right.
stay.
Why is in the black neighborhood, you know, they say one of African American culture, right? They
Right.
think that a kid is going to go out there and make it on their own at 18. You know, tell me why.
Well,
How's that possible?
first and foremost, I don't know why that person really came up with that theory,
Right?
because my children got both their parents.
Go.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They keeping this some type of, what used to happen back in the day. Yeah, things was rough because what they was pushing out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The price of living was still high since our families. If you understand what I'm saying, that's why we couldn't get the things that we wanted.
Right. Real fact.
You know what I mean?
Real fact.
That's why a lot of us made decisions what we did.
Right.
But that's like you say, it always boils down back to generational wealth.
Right.
Because our families taught us to hustle.
Ooh.
They used to say when we was a kid,
Mhm.
it's snowing outside.
There you
You
go.
better go out there and make some money.
That's right. Yep.
You know what I mean? Some of the kids go wash the windows.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Maybe, pulling up at the gas stations and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Little homies like, can I pump your gas? Go ahead, man. Go ahead,
Pump that gas. You
Heck,
give us
you know,
$5. Pump that gas. Yep.
I don't even want to pump my gas. I pay them just because they had to
A lot of times I do that too.
do
It's
it.
because you out there, right?
Right. You know what
I
I mean?
respect the fact that you're trying to hustle.
Because you're trying.
Right.
And that's generational wealth
Yep.
to you young brothers and sisters.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm just giving I'm using that as an example because I know there's young brothers and sisters that do it. But please be careful out there
Yeah.
doing that. That's just real fact. That's what it's about.
You know what's crazy?
Yep.
What's crazy? I'm just thinking about like what you said, right? And coming up, it's crazy how I had so many hustles, right?
Yes.
So many hustles, right? Man, let me tell you, right? See, people don't know, man. I go so far back with this music thing, right?
Are you most
Right? Yeah, I mean, it's so far back that a lot of people don't know. If you was on 52nd Street, West Philly,
uh,
in the years of, let's say, between 90, 95, and 2000, most likely you was listening to my music. I did a lot of, should I say, I was doing a lot of mixtapes back then, selling a lot of mixtapes, you
yes.
know, and so they did a crackdown, right? You know, I had it cracking. Man, I remember I had a 6 disc CD copier that nobody had, you know, back in the day.
Right.
I had a 6 disc CD copier, right?
Word.
How it came about was my pop saw my hustle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking the CDs, right? And I'm copying one by one in the computer, right?
I
Copying
taught you
one by
this. I
one.
taught you.
It wasn't, it was just something like one day I said I was burning the CD, right?
Right.
So I'm on the computer and I burned the CD. I gave it to my dad. My dad asked me, say, hey man, can you make one for my friend?
Real
Make it
fact.
for, then we made it for another friend, made it for another friend. And I said, man, I can make some money doing it. They paying me.
Right.
So I said, all right, I'm going to start spreading this out, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So my pop was like, well, so I would copy one day. One day he looked in my room, right? And he said, well, what you doing? I said, I'm trying to sell these for $2 a piece,
Right.
but I'm copying them one by one, and it's taking me forever. So he looked at me like, all right. He said, if I invest in you, you got to pay me back. So he went and said, come on. We went to this I think Best Buy
Right.
back in the day, right? And we got four or the 6 disc CD copy.
Ooh,
So I
ooh.
burned that jar and then I put in there. I got 6 copies, right?
Yo, I remember that.
That was really my first real hustle, and that put me in the music game for real, and
Facts,
allowed me
facts.
to meet a lot of people. You know what I mean? Before I even started throwing parties, you know what I mean? So I would be out 52nd Street. My pop would drop me off. He'd be like, "Man, I had a little cell phone, a little Nokia. You know what I mean? He said, call me when you're
Remember?
ready." Right? Imagine, right? Page is right. I have a page in my Nokia. So I'm out there hustling. I have a book bag full of CDs.
Right.
Right? I'm
Right.
out there, this person, that person, like, oh, what's up, man? What you got? I got this, I got that. I had the J, sorry, Jay. I mean, I had all that. You know what I mean? I had all that. Jay, Jada, you know what I mean? The Rough Riders was a big seller back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The DJ Clue, mixtapes. I had all that. You know what I mean?
True professional.
Right. And then I had a hookup where I got all that stuff before it even got to New York. I had it before it even got to New York. People was like, "Yo!" So I was, yeah. If you was into mixtapes back then, yeah, it was me. So you know what I mean?
I remember.
A lot of people don't know. Of course, I had to told Germantown, Uptown on lock. I had all this on lock, and then like I said, I started spreading out. I started putting my stuff in the stores down South Philly,
Yeah.
South Street, right? Then after that, as it would happen, somebody told them, you know what I mean? Somebody told.
That's
So
not
I'm out West Philly. So I'm out West Philly one day. I got my bag of CDs, right?
Right.
And so same routine. My pop would drop me off. He
Right.
go do whatever he had to do, and I'm out there, making my rounds, making my money. And it's funny, man, the respect that the older guys gave me. Nobody never robbed me, nothing. They was like, yo, and they said the same thing. We respect your hustle, young boy, because I was no more than 15, 16 years old, right? Because I was trying to get rims for my little car. You know what I mean? So I was out there hustling, right? And two white guys walk up to me, and you know what I mean? And I see him walking towards me, right?
Right.
So one of the OGs, right?
Okay.
And one of the Islamic stores back then, right there. You know how they used to sit outside and sell boys?
I
He
know.
pulled me in the store and
A
locked
lot
the
of
door.
components from down there.
He was like, no. He said, man, you're doing a good thing. He said, you don't need to get locked up. Come on. So they banging on the door, right?
Wow.
He hides the bag, and he's like, "Where's his bag at? Where's his bag?" And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about, brother." He said, "I don't know what you're talking about." He hides the bag. He said, "You don't have a warrant for the store." And it was like, he said, "Do you have a warrant for him?" And I'm like, so I'm looking, I'm like, damn. So, I told my pop, hey man, listen, that hustle might be over with. So I said, all right, maybe I could just not go out West Philly no more. So I go down South Philly. Same when they took me, said, hey man, these guys came in here saying that they're looking for you. And it wasn't too long after that. That's when they took all the vendors off of 52nd Street.
I remember that.
Remember that? They
Remember
took
that.
all the remember that? They did not want they didn't want nobody out there doing any vending or selling anything that didn't have a copyright for. Like, and then not too long after that, what's his name? DJ Drama. DJ Drama got locked up. Yeah, man. DJ Drama got locked up, man.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But they said that, he was see me, I was just, producing a product that was up to me. He
Right.
was actually making those mixtapes, you know what I mean? And doing that. So that's how he got out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? But Drama Mixtapes was a seller too. So, you know what I mean? That was a seller too. Like, before he became member Drama from Philly.
No
So
doubt.
before, you know what I mean? Before he became DJ Drama worldwide
Right.
down in Miami, New York, Miami, and all that. He was here,
Yeah.
like, so I had a lot of this stuff too, man. But you know what I mean? I tell people that because a lot of young guys, man, don't be afraid to hustle, man. Don't be afraid to pick something to go out there and get your hustle on.
Correct.
Like that. This is life, man. Like you can spend your time wasting it, but like we say, you want to build generational wealth. You got to start somewhere. It starts with one person taking that foot. You got to take that step.
Yeah.
You take that step, you got to get out there. You got to say, make it happen. That wasn't my only hustle. Man, me and my brother, we took flyers, right? Because the same, when I told him what I was trying to do, I said, man, I'm trying to get some room. He said, all right, so that hustle was over. He was like, well, what you want to do? I said, man, let's paint all these houses up here in Russell Lane. So we went, when we went to Staples. Right. We got like 2,000 flyers printed up saying that, all we got it written on there, we will paint your house. We paint each room. It's like $20, $30. Word. Right? We was up there working our ass off. You know what I mean? Gotcha. You know what I mean? And then shout out to my man Dave, he's no longer with us. You know what I mean? He put me D with, how to get them rooms. You know what I mean? I had that bread and I got them rooms. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but it's like a lot of what I see with a lot of young guys in today's world, man, is that they do not, they don't put forth the effort to get out and hustle. And I just say that because we're trying to build generational wealth. It's going to take more than a job, Right. And I say that to say, like I said, see me promoting on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot, how to be an entrepreneur. That's only because I want to spread this knowledge to my young brothers, and I want them to, have more. Real fast. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to be like, oh man, this is all. It seems like I see a lot of young folks hit that wall like, damn man, I'm working my butt off. This is it. Nah, there's more to life. You got to take time to sit back and think about what else you can do to make money. Knowledge is money. There you go. Knowledge. You got to take that and use that. Take that knowledge and use that. In your world, it's a lot easier, but we had to do it physically. Now everything is on the phone, right? It's easier, honestly. It makes the hustle easier. You know what I mean? And the fast forward, we got cold hearts too. Hey, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Right. And me, P, and us, right? Doing some promotion. That's right. Shout out to Spiz too. Right. 100. You know what I mean? We had a setup. Right. Bridge Capital. That's right. We was going to do. That's right. Yep. The performing and everything. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Ostino was there too. Yep, shout out to Ostino. Yep, he was there. Yep, in the building. Yep. Still got the flyers on my page. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, right? You see Face, Spiz, Nation, yep, Cold Heart Entertainment, right? Real Entertainment, yep. A lot of all of us, right? All of us. We've been doing it for a long time, y'all. People don't know how much work you got to put in, bro, to become successful. I see a lot of people. I watch a lot of people from the city bubble, and people be like, man, they did that overnight. And I be looking at them like, man, I used to watch this dude go to the studio 24/7. You know what I mean? And they don't understand, like you said, build that generational wealth with that rap money. And I've seen a lot of people do. I've seen people go into the game, especially from Philly, right, become writers. You write and you get that publishing money, right? You build that generational wealth. Yeah. So, man, listen, you got a dream. My young brothers out there, follow that dream. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't get there. That's another grind, right? Knowledge. That's another grind. Don't let nobody tell you that you ain't gonna be able to make that money, man. Get out there, make that money, man. Focus on that money. Get that money. A lot of these guys who's out here making it happen, they started at McDonald's. 100. A lot of us, we worked, but we made sure when we worked, everything else worked. Everything else works. That's right. We made it, right? Because that's part of the grind, right? You gotta have more than one hustle. Gotta straight up, sink or swim. You ain't lying, bro. Because man, like you said, and especially in today's world, man, I see how. I remember when I had my first place. It was $500 a month. You know what I mean? Right? $500 a month, baby. You know what I mean? $500 a month. That allowed me to, right? I was out here doing like, I could do this, I could do that. All right, quick 500. All right, couple days, bam. You know what I mean? Right. You know what I mean? That's how it was. But now it's like, I see these dudes, I honestly, and I say this to a lot of single women also too, please do not put your sons out on the street. Please don't. Please don't. Stay there. Don't. Let him stay there with you. And let him build himself up. Let him build himself up and let him grow. Because there's no way that they can make it out here in today's world. Them days is over putting these kids out at 18. Honestly, the age you give rid of your kids, honestly, is about 30 years old.
And that's why they dying.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep. I talked to one. I talked to a young boy not too far from here. He told me he's like him and his friends living in a bando.
And guess what? You know what's funny?
Crazy.
I'm gonna speak some real facts. A lot of, a lot of y'all come from good families.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just misunderstood.
There you go.
We all been misunderstood once upon a time. I'm just speaking
All of
real
us.
facts.
Yep. Yep.
So from having to deal with that, you gotta grow.
Yep.
And once you grow, you know.
Mm.
And that's real fact.
Real fact. Yep. Build that generational wealth, y'all. Okay. Build that generational wealth. Start from the bottom and work your way up. Trust me. We, us, right here. Matter of fact, my whole team, uh, Nation, Pace, YC, B, telling y'all, all of us started off with nothing. Even though we grew up in the right family, but we had to go out and get it ourselves.
Yep.
So, when you see us flying by in that thing, woo, you understand we work for that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
And when you
understand
understand
we
that
work for that.
we work for that, the next person works for it too.
There you go.
So you gotta make it work for you.
There you go. There you go.
Like you definitely gotta make it work for you.
Yep.
And it always boils back down to the family.
Right.
Generational wealth.
Generational
Have to
wealth,
make it
y'all.
work for you.
Yep.
Get out there and grind.
Yep.
Don't get caught up.
Nope.
Because y'all are worth it. Me and my man and stuff we've been through, a lot of people know us.
Mm-hmm.
P 267 YC, the fam. Brothers that know us, we all been there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like real rap.
Yep.
Anybody, y'all know us. You know what I'm saying? We all been through it. But now we got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And we showing y'all from the mud. And it's gonna go far. Because we all gonna go far.
Yep.
Shout out to all the entrepreneurs. They
Mm-hmm.
doing their thing.
Yep.
Shout out to the young kings too.
Yeah.
Even though they doing their little rap thing,
Right.
but y'all rapping backwards real quick. Rapping backwards.
Go ahead.
Because you run around here killing each other, and you only live around the corner.
Crazy.
Not only that, y'all gotta go to the extent of making bread, which I understand. But when you get popped, you're done.
That's it.
And you can't create no generational wealth, my fault,
Yep.
when it comes to trying to prepare your kids. We striving to prepare our children.
Yes.
The things we doing is for our children because that's what our parents did for us.
Yes.
Whether y'all had them or didn't have them, you was put on this earth to start your generational wealth. That's the moral. That's what my brother was spitting. You started.
Yep.
Started. You
100.
gotta start.
Yep. Gotta start.
Gotta
Start somewhere.
start.
Like we said earlier, man. Go get a job. You know what I mean? Start somewhere. You can do something like we said, we put hustle together, do that on the side, let it grow. If it bubble for you, it pop for you, now you got that popping. You know what I mean? Now you got two incomes popping. Then you want to go from two incomes to three incomes. Now you got three incomes. You take them three incomes, you start looking into going and investing and whatnot, and what you can do with that money. You let that money grow. All my young brothers, man, you want to live a good life, invest that money.
Can I tell them real quick about how far it took for us to get
Tell
here?
them, tell them,
How far you got?
tell them, tell them, man.
Tell them how
Tell them.
on my side how we connected
Tell
and
them.
everything that happened. Everything started out with a thought and what we saw.
Huh?
Shout out to a lot of the brothers that's doing their thing, a lot of the sisters. But we saw a vision and we chased it.
Yep.
But to get there, it started from a grind. I'm talking about the real grind. Because at one point, people would think, hey, from the streets,
100.
family lovers and everything.
Right.
We love our family. Mhm. But they couldn't take care of it like what we wanted. Because we were selfish. I
Man.
was selfish.
Yep. All right.
My family did everything right.
Mine too.
I made my mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
learned from them, and look at us now. We're on
Right.
our way.
Yep. You know what's funny, bro? You know what's funny? I was the other day. I was sitting here with my grandma,
Mhm.
and we was talking, and she told me, she said, I remember that I didn't see you for a long time, and I thought about that time, right?
Right.
When we was out there, and you know what being in the streets, you know what it do? All it do is take you away from your family.
Yeah.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
I thought about, I didn't, she said I didn't see you for a long time. And it was like a year. I didn't even go see my grandma or my grandfather, none of my family really, you know,
And
because
you
I was so
wasn't
deep
booked.
in. Right. And I wasn't booked at all. I was
That's
just out
heavy.
there.
That's
I
heavy.
was so out there. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, people 100. I was, South Philly, Tasman.
It's
You know what I mean? And then I'm up here, from up here to down there. You know what I mean? And every day I was, ripping and running,
right.
ripping and running so much that even if, Thanksgiving, we still out there.
Right.
Christmas, we out there. You know
That's
what I mean?
that's
It
what
wasn't no
that's when it's getting.
exactly. It wasn't. I wasn't looking even. I wasn't thinking about seeing no family. I don't
Right.
think I seen my mom at one time for like 8 months.
And that's crazy.
Ain't that
I
crazy?
know what you.
You know what
I
I mean?
definitely understand that because
Yep.
you. It's the paper chase.
There you go. You know?
You know what I mean? And just like you know, brother, we wasn't
Right.
in the beginning thinking about the paper. We wasn't thinking about nobody else except the
Nope.
paper
The
chase.
paper. But but that's why I say to say to them, like, I don't like to go there like this number. We've been there, done it. Been there, done it, did it,
That's facts.
and God allow us to still be here. Shout out to the brothers that's not here anymore. That's roll with us.
Just
True. You know?
may Allah make the brothers and sisters very spacious. I
Yes.
mean, like real
Yes.
rap.
Yep.
A
Because
lot of
man,
people in fast on.
a lot of people, bro. You know, man. That's why I sit back and I'm like, well, hopefully, if we could just get one young guy that's watching this right now and say, man, I gotta make a change. I could do something different. We did our job, nation.
Real rap.
Just one.
Just one.
Just one.
That's all it takes, man.
We did our job.
Like
Just
real
one
rap.
guy.
Straight up.
Yep.
Teach your son. Teach your daughter.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Parents. I know them kids doing the most. Don't let them go. And y'all kids, I don't care how much demon time y'all on. No matter what your parents is doing, I don't care if they was out there on the streets. Those were parents, dog.
Respect them.
Respectfully,
Yep.
those your parents. Yeah, you're not gonna get along and think it's always a miscommunication. But you got kids too now, and a lot of y'all understand, and the ones that don't, you will.
Yeah. Real quick.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
They will.
But that's a part of growth.
Yep.
But real rap, love your family and listen to them. Mom, listen to them.
Yep.
And I'm only talking about the ones that's doing right. So that's real facts.
Real
I
fast,
ain't talking
bro.
about the ones that's out there doing whatever, and just don't care.
Yep. I'm gonna end it off on this
Facts.
100%, man. Real fast, bro.
It's all night,
All
baby.
night, right? But you know what demon time equal? Jail time. That's what demon time equal to y'all. Okay, well, demon time equal jail time. You know what it stops? Generational wealth. Y'all have a good night.
God
Episode
bless.
4 of the Real Fact Podcast. All right, now, y'all take it easy.
Bless. Peace.